boiled over when a top Wu administration official said the city hands out more than 80,000 needles per month to drug users.
Every morning, my 4-year-old son has to either step over a person, a needle, or human waste when we leave our front door. That's his daily reality.
And, you're going to see at the end of this video that Wu has received funding from a certain large country that is a rival to the United States. And at the same time, she's allowing drugs that flow from this country to permeate her own city street.
That's why these sanctuary cities are so incredibly dangerous. Yeah, Michelle Wu is one of the worst offenders in the entire country.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories every day. Now, y'all, we've been covering your girl, Mayor Michelle Wu of Boston, for many moons now, and we're going to continue to do so, primarily because of her stance on, well, the people who are in the country without permission. See, she wants to hug them and snuggle up with them at night and spoon and give them food and water and shelter, and and that's running up against the Trump administration's desire and activity and actions to get them to go back to their own countries and make their own countries great again. Now, y'all, in today's report, we're going to be talking about Pam Bondi. She has launched lawsuits against major sanctuary cities, and Boston is just the latest in the line. And y'all, I'll be honest, when I'm looking at the comments, you're going to see Pam Bondi speak in a few. When I'm looking at the comments, a lot of people like, just arrest her. Talking about Michelle Wu, like she needs to go to jail. Y'all, I think Michelle Wu is thumbing her nose at Pam Bondi. I think she knows that there's very little that Pam Bondi can do. And frankly, I don't know. I don't know that the federal government has a lot of tools that it can use to really get a city or a state to comply if they just refuse to do so. And I think you're going to see that here in this video. And also, I wonder, listen, I'm not impugning anybody's motives. I'm certainly not trying to cast aspersions on anyone. But Michelle Wu has been linked to funding from a very dubious source, $300,000 or more. And it does make me wonder, and this is what we're going to get into first. It makes me wonder if Boston's rampant drug problem, which Michelle Wu's administration is allowing to fester and persist. And you're going to see just the heartbreaking stories of the residents in the country's safest big city, according to Michelle Wu. It makes me wonder if her administration's allowing that situation to fester, if it might be part of a bigger, kind of more sinister plan. Y'all, if you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at the opium wars. Take a look at how countries will use substances against their enemies to weaken their enemies, to weaken their will, to weaken their abilities, to weaken their ability to fight and resist. And, you're going to see at the end of this video that Wu has received funding from a certain large country that is a rival to the United States. And at the same time, she's allowing drugs that flow from this country to permeate her own city streets and wreak havoc. So, I'm certainly not saying she's doing anything on purpose, but I am saying, there might be a connection there. And so we're going to be exploring that in this video, y'all. It's a little bit of a sit back, relax. So without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and jump into it. Y'all know now is the time that I do my commercial for gold. Y'all, listen, I started talking about gold, about 3, 4, 5 months ago. Since then, it has gone on a crazy run. It's up thousands and thousands of dollars. You could be up 10, 20, 30, 100, 200, who knows, $1 million, depending on the size of your retirement. What are you waiting for? Go click the link, Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com. It's the first link down in the description. And speak to our partners at Augusta Precious Metals at 844-651-8334. Come on, y'all. Mankind's been using gold for 5,000 years. What are you waiting for? Talk to our people. Take a look at this report from the Boston Herald. It says Boston distributes 80,000 needles to drug users per month, inflaming mass and caste tensions. Tensions in a packed city council hearing on how mass and caste spillover is taxing surrounding neighborhoods boiled over when a top Wu administration official said the city hands out more than 80,000 needles per month to drug users. The admission came amid a back and forth between councilors John Fitzgerald, Ed Flynn, and Boston Public Health Commissioner B.O., who said the city handed out 14,500 needles last week and distributes 81,112 on average per month to drug addicts. Amid audible gasps from the hundreds of people in attendance at the Hampton Inn and Suites, B.O. defended the city's harm reduction approach as a key to fending off HIV and other diseases that are commonly spread through shared needles during drug injection. If you consider the number of times someone is using fentanyl, it's 10 to 15 injections per day, B.O. said. We are trying to decrease the risk of HIV exposure. So y'all, this is causing a huge problem in Boston. And we actually have a news report about this crazy, raucous, just heartbreaking meeting where people are just pouring their hearts out about how destructive these policies are. Let's take a look.
South End residents came out in force to tell city officials they have had enough. They say something more permanent needs to be done about drug use and encampments at Mass and Cass. Tonight, Brandon Truitt spoke with residents who shared shocking stories of how the crime has spread into once quiet neighborhoods.
Some city councilors want to classify the drug use at Mass and Cass as a public health emergency. Now, Boston's health commissioner pushed back on that idea, but more than 130 people showed up to speak, and they're fed up.
It is ridiculous of what's gone on, and everything has failed.
We're being told that it's getting safer, but what I see is an administration trying to redefine what safety means.
The room wasn't big enough to hold everyone who came out to share their concerns. A handful of city councilors taking public comments on the drug use at Mass and Cass and its ripple effects.
I have even depleted my 401k to keep the restaurant open. I have invested everything here and nothing happened. It's been 9 years.
Navia Pena says the incessant drug use and behavior that follows has pushed away customers and is now forcing her to close her restaurant that sits right on the corner. But many who spoke out say the problem is no longer isolated to just the intersection. It's spread to other parts of the South End.
He had 2 open warrants for violent crimes.
Ryan Rogers Hammond says a man broke into her South End home last month and defecated in her living room. Her children, they're eating breakfast.
It's on our sidewalks, in our playgrounds, and in my case, my home.
Every morning, my 4-year-old son has to either step over a person, a needle, or human waste when we leave our front door. That's his daily reality.
It happened to Emily Schleyer too. She had an attempted break-in just this week, months after a woman set up shop in her home for days when she was out of town in July.
Entered my home, slept in my bed, stole more than $10,000 worth of belongings, and was out of jail again within a week.
Residents offered up solutions ranging from a crackdown on arrests to longer-term treatment programs and stepped-up police presence, saying what's happening here hurts the entire city.
We feel like something needs to change or something needs to happen, but we don't know what to do.
It's worth noting Mayor Wu was not in attendance tonight. Her opponent, Josh Kraft, did make an appearance, but he did not speak.
So y'all, as I said, think about the opium wars. Think about how certain countries may want other countries to use substances to weaken the population. And then again, at the end of this video, we're going to get into allegations that Mayor Wu has received donations from a certain large rival country to the United States that also is coincidentally a producer of the precursors of fentanyl. That's where all of the chemicals that go into making fentanyl, that's where they come from. So they're giving Wu money, and also they're helping to flood Wu's streets with this deadly drug. So, that might just be a coincidence, or maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, y'all, let's continue on. Pam Bondi is trying to crack down on Boston. She's trying to do her part to get them to, enforce the law, to comply with the law. And Mayor Wu, of course, on that end, she is resistant as well. So Pam Bondi here is going to speak about what she's doing in order. I don't know if, frankly, the law might not give Pam Bondi enough tools, as I said previously, to make cities and states comply. And frankly, you're gonna see here Hannity will ask Pam Bondi if the cities are breaking the law, and she's an expert at avoiding the question, avoiding giving an answer. Let's take a look.
All right, what do you make? You sued Boston and the Boston Mayor Michelle Wu yesterday, obviously sanctuary city, but we have California sanctuary state. We have Illinois Governor Pritzker making his announcement that he is going to fight back if, in fact, ICE raids take place. You have all these groups. There was one announced this week in Colorado. They are going to tip off illegal immigrants if there is going to be an ICE raid. Isn't it, by definition, aiding and abetting lawbreaking if you are protecting people that are in the country illegally? And doesn't the Constitution and the Supremacy Clause give jurisdiction to the federal government, not to state governments?
It sure does, Sean, and it is illegal to tip someone off. It endangers the lives of our law enforcement officers. That's why these sanctuary cities are so incredibly dangerous. Yeah, Michelle Wu is one of the worst offenders in the entire country. She says Boston is safe. It's not. A Haitian national is charged with at a migrant center. An 18-year-old illegal alien from Haiti. An illegal from El Salvador. 11 counts of... I could go on and on about the crimes in the Boston area. So if she's not going to protect the people of Boston, we are. President Trump cares deeply about this country and the safety of Americans. We don't care where you live. We're going to protect you. And yes, you cannot have a sanctuary city in the United States of America. No longer. We sued her. We're going to protect all citizens, even the ones who live in Boston, because if she's not going to protect them, we are. Remember, Michelle Wu is the one that when an off-duty police officer stopped a knife-wielding man, she offered condolences for the criminal defendant and not the police officer, who was heroic. That's what we've been up against with some of these cities.
Are they committing crimes by obviously adopting these policies?
Well, that's why we're suing her. We're going to take away their federal funding. We want notices of everything that they're doing to protect illegal aliens. Here's the difference. In D.C., Muriel Bowser was cooperating with us, sharing intelligence. That's how we got so many violent offenders off the streets of D.C. Here, when they're not cooperating, it jeopardizes the lives of our men and women in law enforcement. No longer, no more. That's why we've sued her. We've sued multiple states, and we will continue. LA, Denver, Chicago, and more. We're not going to stop.
So how do you think that Michelle Wu, how do you think she replied to Pam Bondi's lawsuit? Spoiler alert, she doesn't give a whoop. Let's take a look.
Well, the Trump administration is suing Boston and Mayor Michelle Wu, accusing the city of violating federal law with its sanctuary city policies. Our NBC 10's Amelia Fabiano joining us live in Cambridge tonight after hearing from more officials and experts on the impacts of this lawsuit. Amelia, good evening.
Hey, Priscilla. So this whole lawsuit centers around Boston's Trust Act. The DOJ and the Trump administration in this lawsuit, they're arguing that that act really prevents Boston police from helping federal ICE agents arrest what they consider to be dangerous criminals off the streets. But some local leaders and some experts we talked to today, they're arguing the opposite. They're saying that is not true. And this is all about local control and community trust.
Massachusetts Republicans were thankful, frankly, to see the Trump administration take action.
A lawsuit against Boston's sanctuary city laws is a win to the Massachusetts Republican Party. But Senator Ed Markey says Boston and Mayor Michelle Wu know how to keep their city safe.
This must be fought because it is an illegal intervention into the local policing responsibilities of our community.
Mayor Wu saying Boston will not yield Thursday night after the lawsuit came down.
Governor Maura Healey and Boston Mayor Michelle Wu at the Labor Day rally weighing in on the report.
Groceries are becoming more expensive, housing is harder to build, and all of this is connected to a federal administration that is targeting the very people who built our country and our cities.
You know what? I think it's disrespectful to local and state law enforcement who work hard every day. And what we need from the Trump administration is funding for cops, funding for community policing, funding for law enforcement.
So y'all, we have to admit, Michelle Wu, she's a good politician, right? She has the support of her people. She's about to win re-election. There are no credible challengers against her. And because the federal government has not been able to do anything to her, they haven't been able to do anything And it looks like under Pam Bondi, they won't be able to do anything. Wu's going to just continue to have her way. She's going to allow fentanyl to flood her streets. She's going to hand out 81,000 needles per month to people so that they can use drugs openly on the streets. The residents are going to cry, but they're also going to reelect her. So she has no vested interest in attempting to help them out. And she's going to take money from dubious sources. Now, here we're going to go ahead and flow into this report about how she received upwards of $300,000 from donors connected to one of our biggest rivals in the world. Also, that same country that produces the chemicals that make up fentanyl. I mean, this is just out of control. Take a look at this quick back and forth with her and Byron Donalds from Florida. And you may remember who she is after this back and forth.
City Well, Mayor Adams, how much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration?
$6.9 billion of taxpayers.
$6.9 billion of taxpayer money on a problem that was fostered on the American people. Mayor Wu, in the city of Boston, how much did you spend?
We don't ask about immigration status and delivering city services.
You don't ask about how much money the city of Boston has spent on illegal immigration? Are you out of your mind?
We don't distinguish between immigration status.
Do you manage your budget or not, Mayor Wu?
That is how we keep our city safe.
Mayor Wu, do you manage your budget or not?
We have the numbers to prove it. I manage my budget. I have a AAA bond rating dating back 10 years.
So to the city of Boston,
budget.
just understand that your mayor does not care how much of your resources she has spent on people who are not citizens
the city of Boston.
Is
sick of having people outside Boston telling us what we need.
Now, it has come to light, y'all, that a fundraiser behind her 2021 campaign has ties to the CCP. And if you don't know what that is the Communist Party in China. Okay, so let's take a look. A fundraising organizer responsible for contributing hundreds of thousands of dollars to Boston Mayor Michelle Wu's 2021 mayoral campaign has ties to the Chinese Communist Party. Gary Yu is the co-chairman of the New England Chinese American Alliance. That group helped raise $300,000 for Wu's mayoral campaign in 2021. Yu is also listed under another name as a member of the United Front Work Department, an intelligence division of the CCP. The scoop was first reported by the Daily Caller. Mayor Wu's office did not respond to a request for comment from the National News Desk about the findings. The House Select Committee on the CCP in 2023 described United Front as being especially adept at altering the political landscapes of other countries to its benefit. Now, y'all might say, okay, now maybe you aren't not that familiar with Mayor Wu. Let me show you a quick back and forth to give you maybe some of her more controversial takes and her more controversial ideas. I mean, she is the mayor of Boston, y'all. So she is actively steering that city's public policy. Take a look at this.
What do you say to the people who in your constituency who might feel like, hey, why are we doing this? What's the big deal with this sanctuary city thing? If people are illegally in the country, shouldn't we arrest them and get rid of them? What is the big deal?
Yeah, we are. Again, we're the safest city because we're safe for everyone. In a community where over a quarter of your residents were born in another country, if people are afraid to drop their kids off at school or call 911 when they need help or share information when they actually have information to report about a crime that happened, that makes everyone less safe, whether or not you are an immigrant, whether or not you're here in this country 6 generations or just arrived. So we're really focused on being that home for everyone, and it's worked. And so all of the buzz around, whether these kinds of cities that are more welcoming for immigrants are more dangerous, it's about a false narrative that immigrants are somehow more likely to commit crimes or cause harm, and that is just simply not true. We know that in our city, where our immigrant communities are entrepreneurs, are holding up the best hospitals in the country, the universities and jobs that we all rely on. And in order to make sure that we can keep that progress going, everyone has to feel part of it.
And we continue. United Front work is a unique blend of engagement, influence activities, and intelligence operations that the CCP uses to shape its political environment, including to influence other countries' policy toward China and to gain access to advanced foreign technology. Mayor Wu was among the leaders of 4 sanctuary cities who testified before Congress last month. She accused President Trump of sparking widespread fear through his mass deportation immigration policies. Quote, I spoke with pastors whose pews are half empty on Sundays, doctors whose patients are missing appointments, teachers whose students are missing class, she said. A city that's scared is not a city that's safe. Now you have to wonder who's talking, y'all. I mean, $300,000 is a lot of money. Is that what Wu believes, or is that what maybe some people who are out there that are giving her money believes? Maybe it's both. I don't know. I'm just raising this as a question. So y'all, today we took a tour around the news related to Boston. Let me know, what do y'all think? Do you think Pam Bondi is going to be able to do anything? We already see the Boston residents. I mean, we didn't cover this, but Michelle Wu's leading her mayoral challenger by like 50 points. She's about to win re-election. So Boston's not doing anything about their problems. What do you think? Do you think Pam Bondi's going to be able to do something, or is Wu just going to be able to continue thumbing her nose at the federal government and just get away scot-free? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments, y'all. Before you do, please stop, hit the share button, share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all of your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Y'all, if you have a retirement, I've been telling y'all about investing in gold for the past several months. And while you were doing nothing, gold was going up tremendously in value. So congratulations. You probably just missed out on, who knows, 10, 20, 30, $100,000 in upside. But it's not too late, y'all. The United States is still printing money, and people are predicting that gold will continue to run up. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but gold has been man's best monetary friend for over 5,000 years. So can you really go wrong? Go to our link, Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com, to get the information. It's the first link down in the description, y'all. You can just go down in the description and click it. Also call our partners at Augusta Precious Metals at 844-651-8334, and they'll hook you up. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.